Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather, and on this channel we like to walk a very fine line between a shopping addicted makeup monster and a responsible adult with a makeup hobby. Now, I really enjoy eyeshadow singles, duochromes, multi-chromes, blush, highlight, lip gloss, basically everything except pressed glitter. And today is going to be kind of a different video. I'm going to be putting some makeup on for sure, but mostly I just want to talk to you a little bit about my experience with semaglutide. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick with me. We're getting into it right now. Okay, so I'm going to probably just include most of the information about the products that I'm using down in the description box. So if you're interested, just check down there. But basically, I wanted to talk about my experience with semaglutide. And it is a medication that they use for weight loss. So question number one, I feel like, of course, is what is semaglutide? And it is an injectable medication that you can use. It was originally FDA approved for diabetics, but then they discovered that a bunch of people were losing a bunch of weight with this medicine, like 20% of their body weight. 20% of their body weight, okay? So it's like statistically significant weight loss. And so they started investigating to see if this medicine would work for just weight loss in non-diabetics. And it turns out it does. So they got FDA approval for it, and now there are private clinics in the area that will use it to help with weight loss. So then the way that it works is that it basically reduces your hunger cravings in the first place, and then in the second place it basically makes stuff sit in your stomach longer. So instead of, you know, stuff going out a little quicker, you feel hungrier again faster, you don't get that same hunger propensity so quick, which is awesome. So I set up for my first appointment, went in, basically talked to somebody, told them a little bit about my health history. They gave me some paperwork to fill out, of course, and this does not go through my insurance. This is being done privately, although it does, my HSA does work for it. So the reason that I wanted to try this medicine is because my husband actually works for the company that is administering it, and he's seen so many people have such good results on it. So he's like, babe, you should try it too. And I was kind of hesitant at first to try it because I wasn't sure if it was going to give me any like big GI side effects, because you can get like constipation, nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, like all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to set myself up for all that. So I was kind of reluctant at first, but then I kept seeing more and more people he was having come in for their follow-ups, and they were just losing so much weight that I was like, man, maybe I should do this in addition to the keto diet that I follow to kind of like 2-for-1 get my weight loss like a little bit jump started. So I went and had my intake appointment, which was pretty straightforward, and got the injection. The injection is done subcutaneously. It can be done in like the muscle around your stomach or on the back of your arms, like back here. So that's where I had mine done, and I left. That was my first visit, and they said come back in a week. This medicine is dosed once a week. You start at a low dose, 0.25, and then you build yourself up a little bit at a time, I think by every 0.25 increments, until you hit 2.5. And the goal is to get you on the highest, most effective dose that doesn't cause you side effects. Some people typically will see like less effect, of course, in the lower doses, but it takes your body a little while to acclimate to be able to tolerate the higher doses, so that's why they do that. So I was like, okay, got it done. Now the first day that I had it done, I would say like a couple hours after I did it, I was feeling kind of like almost like dizzy or like giddy for a little while, but that didn't last super long, thank goodness. And then once that kind of like settled down, I had a fair amount of like nausea, which honestly, I mean, that's the medicine is designed to like make stuff sit in your stomach longer, so I figured that was part of what was going on. And it wasn't even like nausea to the point of having to take medication, which they did prescribe me some medicine in case I got that nauseous, but I didn't feel like the nausea that I was having was that bad. So I just kind of waited it out, and it settled down after day 2. Now, I did not get to the point of vomiting, which is good. Like, some nausea I can put up with. Like, vomiting, no thank you, I don't want that. So, a little bit of nausea, and then I definitely noticed a huge change in my hunger. So, even on this lowest dose for the first week, I noticed that I was like getting full a lot faster. I was eating much smaller portions, and I was like comfortable not eating then until the next meal. Whereas normally I'd be like, are we having snacks? Is there dessert? Like all the things, you know? And so my thought was, if I use this in conjunction with my ketogenic diet and I actually listen to what my body is telling me, i.e. I'm full, I'm not hungry, then it should be fairly effective. So in terms of like dietary recommendations, the company that I'm going to recommends a low carb diet. You don't necessarily have to do keto, but they do recommend a low carb. Typically foods that are really high in fat or really high in carbohydrate are the ones that are most likely to cause you to have adverse effects like the nausea and vomiting. So I will say that on my first week, I, over the weekend, had a really rough weekend. And I normally go, like I started on a Tuesday, right? So I was having a really rough weekend and made a bad choice to order a bunch of random food and ate like some tacos and stuff. I don't even remember honestly what all I ate that night, but I ate some tacos, and basically afterwards I felt super full, super bloated, so uncomfortable. It's like if you've ever eaten at McDonald's and you feel like the McDonald's just sits in your stomach for like a whole day and it never really goes away. That's like what my stomach was feeling like. So I was like, oh, alright, lesson learned. That's not gonna work for me. I've been very vigilant since then to make sure that I'm really listening to what my body is telling me in terms of like how hungry I am or how hungry I'm not. Yeah, so I've been listening to my body more and just letting it kind of tell me like, am I hungry? Am I not? I'm not rushing to eat as soon as I feel a little bit hungry. I'm waiting until like that hunger kind of builds to the point where it's not just like coming and going away right away. And I think that's really been helping. I've been using smaller like containers for my lunches and smaller plates and bowls and things when I get food to eat. And that's been kind of helping to keep things a little bit more realistic in size, which I like. The shot did not hurt. I like barely even felt it, to be perfectly honest. So that was not an issue for me at all. And you can administer them yourself at home should you choose after getting like stabilized on a dose. So that's pretty cool. So they told me the low carb diet. I've been sticking to my ketogenic diet, so I'm doing less than 20 grams of carbs per day. So my husband told me that a lot of people like are able to kind of eat beyond what they're supposed to on this thing. So it's not like a miracle worker medicine. So I kind of knew that going into it, that like this is going to be something that can help me and is not going to be the whole solution for me, that I can just like sit back and, you know, go into easy mode, that kind of thing. And for the first week, I lost 4 pounds, which was awesome. Now, I have already been doing some keto stuff on my own prior to that. So most people know if you start a diet, usually the first week that you do a diet coming out of, you know, kind of your regular, probably more eating, that you'll lose some weight. So I kind of expected that, but the fact that I had already been working on losing some weight and had already lost some weight, was in the middle of my keto diet, and still lost like a sizable amount of weight on the first week, I was super happy. And mind you, that's the lowest dose. So I saw a lot of changes in the cravings that I was having. I was not as like hyped up all the time about like I want carbs, I want carbs, I want carbs. I felt like that like calmed down a lot. I was a lot less hungry. I felt fuller faster, which just kind of helps you stay on track, right? Because you don't want to have to constantly be like fighting and battling with your body to not eat the foods that you know you don't want to be eating right now. Like that is so tough. So it's nice because it kind of quieted down that part of my brain that was like constantly wanting to like get something. Now in terms of, for me, one of the biggest traps that I have to worry about is like nights when I am home, like a Friday night when I'm just kind of like, the week has been rough, it's been a crazy week, I want to just like relax, because I still feel that emotional pull to like just order some bad food and just like chill out on the couch and not do anything and just really relax. So that's going to be a big hurdle for me. Like, I wouldn't say necessarily emotionally, but that's going to be the big hurdle for me to work on. And actually, because I was so delayed in my filming schedule, I am just about to finish week 2. So week 2 is coming to a close this coming Tuesday. So probably around the time you watch this video, assuming I get it uploaded on time. So that's kind of cool. I'm kind of excited to see what week 2 shows me. Because this week we had a ton of family come visit. The family that we had to come visit is family that I will easily cave and just order lots of like bad takeout and stuff with. So they're not necessarily enablers, but their preferences will sometimes just allow me to justify my bad choices. Because they tend to enjoy eating out more, and you know, typically it's not like super healthy food when we go out, it's like trash food. So I was very, very happy that I was able to kind of stay away from that pattern of behavior, because that I knew was going to be really challenging. One of the things that I actually conscripted my husband to help me with was like, don't let me go crazy ordering some random nonsense when we go out to dinner, because I knew we were going to end up going out at least one time, because this was kind of our like Christmas redo. So I just didn't want to fall into the trap. And thankfully I did not. Alright, let's get some colors on the lid here. So yeah, overall, week 1, not too bad symptom-wise. Lost 4 pounds, which I cannot be mad about. And I felt like really energized into going into week 2. They did also recommend exercise, and they say gentle exercise, so not like going crazy like CrossFit or anything, but just, you know, like a little something, you know, 3 times a week to try to just get your body moving. So I was like, I can do that. I can. Wow, that is really, really soft. Look at that. Oh yeah. So they told me specifically, like, don't rush into anything really crazy, because your willpower is like a finite skill, and if you rush into cutting out all these different foods, dieting, exercise, all this stuff at once, you're much more likely to like fail on it. So I was like, okay, well, I can do the easy does it approach. So I did like 3 super easy peasy workouts with my kids during the week, and just kind of like lifted some weights while they were running around, trying not to hit them, of course, because they wanted to be right under my feet at all times. Thankfully, no children were hurt. Lost 4 pounds. I was super, super happy with that. Let me get some eyeliner and lashes on and I'll be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and just did liner and lashes real quick, and then I popped on some brows because your girl needed some brows. But I think all that's left is a brow bone highlight and lips. And so this is the finished look. What do you guys think? I personally really like it. The bold lip is super bold. I don't know if I necessarily needed it, but it's here. I never get to use these lip colors because I'm always wearing a mask, so I want to use them when I can. So in basic summary, this was week 1 using the Semaglutide injection, which is injected through the back of your arm or into your abdomen or thigh. It's a really quick subcutaneous injection, so it doesn't hurt. You don't get any like muscle aches afterwards, and it lasts for a whole week. It helps to lower down your appetite and keeps you feeling fuller longer so that you don't eat so much. And if you really listen to your body and use those cues to help change your behavior and follow a low carb diet with a little bit of exercise thrown in, you're going to be really successful on this medication. If this is something that sounds of interest to you, definitely let me know. Give me comments or questions down below. I'd be happy to answer as we go through this, but I'm hoping to kind of film a check-in like every week or two just to kind of touch base and tell you how the medicine is working out for me. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!